Hello viewers, it's Beloved's Corner once again. We are here to continue with our talk show, and I would urge you to like us on Facebook, Beloved's Corner, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beloved's Corner. Our email address is belovedscorner@gmail.com. You have the privilege to send us your views, your concerns, your questions, and your contributions, and we would acknowledge you the next time we are here to talk. Thank you. Yes, we've been talking about courtship. When to say, I want to marry you, what you should do on your first date and what you shouldn't do. And today we'll look at some few questions that our young people have been asking. As a counselor, I have the privilege to hear the doubts and concerns of young people and elderly as well. Today, we want to know if it's really important to let your beloved, let's put it that the one you are dating, it's your beloved. So, is it really important to let your beloved know about your past? Is it really important to open up, to tell him or her what you've been through, whether good or bad, how important, how relevant it is to the relationship? And also, if time allows us, we'll look into questions like, is it good to have sex before marriage? And if you are very sure that it's going to end up in marriage, let's say you have seen the parents, they've given you the list, everybody in church at work knows that you are going out with this person. Is it very wrong? Or what's wrong with you having sex with that person? We will delve into that. And so, welcome once again. Now, is it really necessary to tell your beloved about your past? Maybe before you give your life to Christ, because we assume you are talking to Christians, and our followers might be Christians mostly. But then, is it right to let the person know that before you met him or her, you've had a series of relationships that ended up in bed with the person? Is it really important? It depends, because you've now set off as friends. What should friends talk about? What should friends know? Is it really important to tell your partner how you struggled through life, how you went through life without a help? Is it important to let your partner know that you sold water for a living? I think yes, because we don't live in isolation. You'll be surprised who you would meet next time with your husband, and this person just bumps into you and says, oh, how good it was when we were together. And then your husband goes like, who is he or who is she? Your wife also goes like, who is she? And you don't even have any explanation. It doesn't mean you should list the numerous relationships, but you can let your partner know that before I met you, or before I met the Lord, I was a little loose, and therefore I had a series of relationships. So don't be surprised if we bump into someone who knows me intimately. But when I gave my life to Christ, I stayed pure. Or before I met you, I was single. And is it important? What good does it do to the relationship? It brings about transparency, because it would be, and some of the people can also not take that past. So you can go about it nicely, that I'm not a virgin. I'm not a virgin doesn't tell how many people you have gone out with, but then it tells that I'm not the angel you think I am, because before I met the Lord, I fooled around. Let me use that word, excuse me. So then the partner is not taken aback when you chance into a friend who goes about telling your husband about the two of you. But then, if you worked hard or you served your mom on the market and you think now you are a big person and that past is humiliating, I don't think someone who really wants to marry you would have much concern. It's even a sign that you started from a humble place, and by the grace of God, you've gotten where you are. So telling your partner about your past, there's nothing wrong. It depends on the situation, and it depends on what he or she wants to know. If the person keeps asking about your past, and the person is open about him or her past, and his or her past, and you don't have any problem with that, then you can go ahead. But if you feel so bad and you feel so shy sharing the problem, I think your partner should understand you, because we all have different temperaments, and some don't mind telling everyone about themselves, and others are introverts, others are secretive. It's not because they want to hide anything or they don't care about their partners, but that is their make, and we have to accept people as they are. So if people are bold enough to also tell you about their past, you shouldn't also use it against them. That the little quarrel, the little misunderstanding, then you go like, because you did this, because you did that, I know you are this. No, let us trust each other. Let us have faith in each other. Let us be able to be ourselves. Bible says, and then Adam and Eve were naked, but they were not ashamed. What does nakedness mean? They were naked about everything. They were plain about everything. They were not ashamed, because the other person empathizes with the partner and sees that I was just an unfortunate situation that might have led to that problem. So if we also say that we have changed, we shouldn't also go back into our past and behave the same way. We should also give the chance for our partners to trust us. Let your beloved be in the known, and let the beloved also trust you that this my lady, this my gentleman, it's a faithful person. And I would also say that it's not important to go like, I need to test this engine, this car before I ride it, before I buy it. We are not cars, we are human beings. And if you keep doing that to people and they end up to become other people's wives or husbands, how would you feel? So Bible didn't say we should go about testing. The human body is such that any form of female organ is able to accommodate any size or anything that you think of. So don't go about tasting every now and then saying that I have to fit the shoes before I buy. We are not shoes, we are human beings. And God in His wisdom has made us such that we can accommodate anything that comes into us as women. And therefore, gentlemen, don't go about tasting women or saying that let me feel her before and know whether she's good or she's bad. No, it's better you stay pure. It's better you fear the Lord even in your courtship. That is when trust is built. If before you marry, you sleep with every woman, when you get married to your beloved, there's the danger that you will not trust the person. If the person has to travel, you would wish you are following him or her, which shouldn't even be a headache, because if you fear God, you would not do such things. The fear of God is what we need in our lives, in our marriages these days and these times. So young people, don't go about saying that I need to be sure of whom I'm going to bed with. It's not necessary. When you get there, you will know. I need to make sure that the person is functioning. Then if you want to know that, you can go to the hospital and the male will see a male doctor. If you want to know that a lady can give birth, it's not by sleeping with the person before marrying the person. No, you can go to the hospital, do all these checks. And it's very, very prudent that you stay pure, because it comes with a blessing, it comes with a promise. And as Christians, as I said, we use the word of God to marry and stay married, because these days divorce is on the increase. Why? It's because we don't fear God, we do things anyhow, we want to pretend that we are wiser than the Creator Himself. No, if someone manufactures a car, the person has a manual. If you do otherwise, the car will not give you the best function. Therefore, the Lord who created you and gave you those nice parts of your body that has to be enjoyed only in marriage. You have to respect these instructions from your maker. He says that marriage is honorable and its bed undefiled. So honor your marriage, and by so doing, you have a very, very bright future. But if you refuse to obey the Lord in this aspect, then you are inviting trouble into your marriage in future. Courtship should always remain courtship, and marriage should always remain marriage. Is it so important? Is it necessary? Is it necessary that we go through all these problems in marriage? No. Therefore, we have to fear the one who has said that marriage is honorable and its bed undefiled. If you think your partner doesn't cherish you so much, what makes you think so? Is it that the person refuses to pick up your calls? Is it that the person doesn't give you much attention? Maybe that is the temperament, as I rightly said. The person is an introvert, but a very good person. The person might not be a chatterbox like a sanguine like myself. The person might be very good, just that the person would learn how to chat, how to make you happy, how to let you also feel love, because we have different love languages. And therefore, during courtship, we have the privilege to know our partners and what makes them happy and what would also excite them. And if you are not respected or honored much, you have to talk about it. Courtship, it's all about learning, live together in future. So then communication is a key to successful courtship. If you are able to discipline yourself, suffer long, stay pure, and do all these things because you want to end up as married couples. When you marry, you should still exercise this self-discipline, this self-control, and then this determination to succeed so that you don't end the marriage on rocks. Young people, is it okay to cook for my beloved before marriage? It's not okay to go into his home and say that I'm assuming my position, and he also says that cook and let me see if you know how to cook. Please, if you want to know if your wife or your partner can cook, it can be if the person is living with the parents, it makes it easier. But these days, young people start to work so early, so then it can be at her apartment, but then make sure you go with a friend. It's not advisable for the two of you to be hiding in places and saying that she's cooking for me to see. After cooking, what next? So please, let's avoid these practices. It would reduce the number of unwanted pregnancies that come our way as Christians. It is very important to be disciplined. Bible urges us to have self-control. Is it important to wash when for the partner? And usually it's not the men who go to the women to wash for them, it's the women who want to prove themselves as serviceable. Please, if a man loves you and you don't wash for the man before marriage, he will not leave you. Please, if you do these jobs for the rest of your life, why the rush? If the person is not well, you can take the things to a laundry to be washed. If you care for the gentleman so much, help foot the bill as well. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a sign of you being caring. Yes, you should have limits. You should have boundaries. You shouldn't trespass some boundaries. It will help. And the two of you have to agree that we will not do these things, A, B, C, D, because it's contrary to the word of God, because we fear the Lord. If you build your marriage on these things, then you are bound to have a successful marriage. Young people, let us stay pure. Let us be true. Let us be true. Let us make sure that we don't behave in ways that would not make our faith attractive for others to come and join us serve the Lord. This episode, it's still on courtship. So kindly send us your questions. Send us emails through belovedscorner@gmail.com. Like our page on Facebook. Want to see your comments as well. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beloved's Corner. Thank you. We'll come your way next time with more interesting topics. Thank you.